Let's return to the multi-layered wall topic,
Okay.
and let's talk about a few things what we already discussed for the single layered. I mean connections, TNL connections. How do they differ in this scenario?
Okay, talking about this here, let me just create a clean cut situation in a separate location. And I will use this here. And I would like to show you another thing. If you don't remember what was the name of this style, you just select it and you will see it.
I see.
But if you don't want to even know about it, you can just click here and you can right click and say create similar. This is also something that is working very well.
It's like picking the style from the palette.
You just pick it and then you just draw something. Like this. Let's say it's happening right like this way.
So you want to connect these two walls together, but what determines which layer goes into what?
Now, let's just use a T connection, because that's when the order of layers will come handy. Now, if I connect it, nothing fancy happens. The core layer connects, but the rest is not connecting.
Yes.
And the secret behind this is what we talked about earlier. This here, the function. Now, these two here, the very thin layers, they're in a very low priority function. So they will not ever meet each other in the 2D and 3D space, except when I say so. But there is a command to directly connect them. I will show you that. And if I elevate their function, their importance via a number. Now I need to do that, of course, in case of both of the walls. So this works best if you set up the importance in the setting level. So let's see how that works. If I would like the outer core, the outer layer, to be more important than the inner layer, yes, then I just select a value that is higher than 5. So let's say, okay, it's 6, and say okay, okay. And let's just break this apart because I will need to reconnect them. And I do the same thing here. Now, again, I could just create a copy of this setting.
Well, yes, you could,
and then
just
I
create
just
a similar
inherit
one.
that, but now I just do it.
Let's just repeat to
yeah,
understand.
So, okay, this was it. I just change it to 6. So now both walls have this layer as an importance of 6, more important than the rest of the,
yes,
the here.
So if you T-connect them?
T-connect them. And see, now it goes, it's cutting through everything, and it goes through to match the other one.
So what you're saying is that if you want two layers to meet, you have to give the same function to them.
Yeah, the same, at least.
And something which is higher than the layers they have to cross.
Yeah, it will cross the other one if it comes to a situation like this. But now there was another situation when it was just as in the same level. I think it was this here, when I did not change anything, but sometimes there is a situation when this works fine in most of the situations, but this specific situation is different, so I need to connect this to this. Now, we can refer to the markers again a little bit. You remember we talked about that there was this item
yes,
here.
the component mode.
The component. Right. Now, in case of a multi-layered wall, we have, in this case, we have 3 components. The first is the first layer, and then I can just jump to the next layer, jump to the next layer. This drives us to a topic which we will cover soon again with the borders. But now what I would like to is just to switch the proper layer, which I would like to connect to the other one. And then now I click on the edge, I mean the endpoint, and I say, okay, connect the covering layers or connect the core layers. Now whichever I select, in this case, the software understands that I'm picking this here, and I say, okay, let's just connect this to this one, and then it will connect it automatically.
So it does it for you. You don't have to go back to the settings if you want to just connect this particular situation.
Yes. So what I would like to say here, that you will have the fast and efficient work always if you set up the rules properly, but sometimes you cannot set up a rule which is perfect for 2 different scenarios, and in that case you can set up a rule which is general for the rest of your project and then handle manually some parts that are not fitting the rules. So you don't have to change the rules over and over and over again. You just do, okay, say let's connect these 2 together.
Can you just show us that when you are in the component mode, how you can change the outline, the contour of the wall layers one by one? Because that's something that we did before with the single layer wall, but this is something that behaves differently here.
Yeah, so if I'm jumping to any of those layers, let's say I'm just changing the cavity here, I can click on the edge. If I do it the other way around here, I can do the same thing. I can insert a node. I can even add the polyline. The difference between the two is that here I can just break it apart, and node by node I can set up something like this. But if I do the same thing around here, add the polyline, I can do
you can
a
draw
similar
an
shape.
extension,
I just draw a complex shape, and when I hit enter, then the software will change that. So this way I can change, I can set up a, you know, a kind of a jump out bump in a wall because it was, you know, created late in the previous century or something like that. So it's not with the same thickness or something.
That's right.